Okay, awesome, everyone. We are online right now, broadcasting. So let's begin. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Um, so the purpose of this session is to very briefly go over this amazing new tool. It's not very new, but we're not using it that much, called Facebook Graph Search for recruitment. So as you have all probably noticed, a couple days ago, we have just launched this recruitment campaign. We call it Generation Free with a hashtag, and basically the purpose of this is, to run a set of different things throughout the semester until Christmas. Doing different posts, videos, testimonials on social media. Kevin has announced a referral competition in which you can, win some pretty serious books. And ultimately, the purpose of this all is to let us expand even further and widen the ranks of our leaders throughout Europe. And since personal referrals have always been our strongest channel for recruitment, I thought this is a good opportunity to again bring up this powerful tool, Facebook Graph Search. And for those of you who haven't really tried it yet, I will give you a very brief introduction to this tool. I'll show you some practical examples of how can it be applied for recruitment. And I also hope that some of you that have already tried it will join us as well for a further discussion where we can, talk about your concerns, your experience, and generally think about how could this be implemented more into our recruitment efforts. I'm actually particularly excited about this, about trying this in Europe, because we've seen how instrumental this was for the success of the recruitment, especially in South America and especially Brazil. I mean, they were using this tool for getting over, I think, 700 or 900 registrations or applications for the ELC program. So that was pretty amazing. And so I'm curious if we can actually replicate this in Europe as well. And that is something we'll also discuss at the end of the call. So, so I give you a quick introduction, show you how to use Graph Search, show you some cool tools that are available for Graph Search online. Then we'll briefly talk about how to approach people online, and that's what's important, we shall discuss all the different possibilities or options for using this in Europe in different regions. So what is Graph Search? And I'll promise to keep it short. So it's not a surprise that Facebook has been collecting, billions of pieces of data about its users. And basically, ever since 2013 or 14, I think, Facebook also decided to kind of make this data available to everyone, to make it searchable. And so a search engine was designed, and it was called Graph Search, right? And it was designed to give answers to natural language. So it doesn't work in a way that, for instance, Google works, right? Because Google uses like keywords, whereas Facebook Graph Search really kind of communicates with you in a way that you have to use like whole sentences to get any results out of it, right? So it's not like I will search for like friends, Prague, Ludwig von Mises, but I have to search for my friends who live in Prague and like Ludwig von Mises, right? So there is the big difference, which actually makes the search somewhat confusing sometimes, especially given the fact that people are used to using keywords other than different search methods. But we have different tools to make sure like that the search phrases are being put properly, and we'll get to that. So how to actually use Facebook Graph Search? Well, the first thing you have to make sure is that you have your Facebook turned into English, specifically United States English, because the Graph Search tool is only available in English, and you have to have your Facebook turned to the language as well. Then the only thing you have to know is just are all those specific criteria you're looking for. So you can combine relationships, you can meaning if the person is in a relationship or not, but also if the person is your friend, or is it not your friend, or is it friend of your friend, or whatever. And then we have age, location, interests, education, and basically you can combine all this. And it's kind of tricky to do this in a sentence, right? Because you're not sure if, like, you know, how to put the words there correctly. And a tool which can make it really easier for you is called Searchespack. Try to get in there. I hope you can all see it, right? So it's basically a very simple search tool, and I'll just give you an example here. So there are like different drop-down menus here. So let's say we're searching for people that are not my friends, because I'm probably like I already know my friends, and I've probably already invited them all for the ELSI program. Searching for all genders, interested in all, and here is the relationship status. So this is actually not important for us. We can just leave it as all. And then when it comes to location, we can either search for a whole country or a specific city. So what I would always recommend is to go for specific cities. But of course, if you feel like your target audience is already too narrow, or only a few people, you can always try to go for entire countries. But it will usually give like so many hits that it'll get a bit confusing. So let's go for Prague now, Prague, Czech Republic, and let's search for people with an interest in Students for Liberty. So normally I would probably know all the people that are interested in Students for Liberty, but these are just my non-friends. So let's see if we can find some. When it comes to company, it probably is not that important to us. It would be important if you would like to, for instance, recruit like IT guys from IBM, right? So you could search them by this condition. But for us, it's actually not that important. And then when it comes to school, again, if you want to recruit a certain people, let's say at your university, then it's actually very useful. So I would add here Masaryk University or Masarykova Univerzita, because that's the university I studied at. But obviously there are a few issues here, because not all people list their university in their profiles. But either way, you can give it a try as well. But let's just try a general search query this time, looking for people who live in Prague and are interested in Students for Liberty. So we have added all the criteria here. Let's just add, okay, let's just not play with age right now, but we can get back to this later. And I'll click on Find People. And you see I'm being redirected to Facebook, where the search query is already kind of given into the search field, right? So people who are not my friends and like pages named Students for Liberty and live in Prague, Czech Republic, right? And I'm getting a lot of different people here. They're not my friends, although I know a few. But anyway, I think those are already like solid prospects I could potentially reach out to. But obviously, I'm probably looking for like younger people, let's say under 25. So I would have to add here like people who are not my friends and are aged under 25 to actually find like more reasonable prospects, because those are the people we're aiming for, right? Like young people, preferably studying university. But anyway, we have a lot of people here. So what I would do next is just to create a spreadsheet in Google Drive, copy paste all those people there, and start reaching out to them one by one. So as you can see, this is a pretty simple, pretty straightforward technique. But at the same time, I would say it's actually one of the most underutilized tools on Facebook, because it offers like numerous opportunities of finding new people. And I have tried this myself a couple times, especially when I started my my own SFL group in Brno. And so we are searching for people basically living in Brno who like Ludwig von Mises. And we choose Ludwig von Mises specifically because it's a very narrow, type of people who like Ludwig von Mises, and there is a great chance that they're like, libertarian-minded or liberty-minded, or might be kind of like interested in joining the LC program, right? So we actually, back then, we didn't really ask them to join the LC program, but we just generally wanted to invite them to join our group in Brno. And we found a few people who have never heard of Students for Liberty before, but were kind of libertarian. They joined the group. So all in all, even though in such a small city, it was actually a great success for us. So yeah, like even though this principle or this search tool is like very easy to use, it's like even more useful for you, or it offers a lot of opportunities. Now coming back to the presentation, yes, a general rule here is to keep everything organized. So other than just searching for people and then randomly trying to reach out to them, I really recommend using a spreadsheet and just like listing all the people there, especially if you have like multiple people doing this, because this is the way of avoiding those like awkward situations when you have one person writing a message to this person and then like your colleague or someone from the group do the same and reaches out to this person like 2 days after, right? And then you have to explain like why is this person harassing the guy? So yes, keep it organized, use spreadsheets, and especially if you're like multiple people doing this is very important. And yeah, how to approach people. So what our colleagues in Brazil usually suggest or say is the best practice is to, like, when you search for these people and you find them, you add them as friends and then reach out to them. And so this works particularly well if those people are already friends with some of your friends, right? But if you don't feel like this is the best way for you, if you're like not very comfortable with this, you can always try to go around this, because it's very possible that this person you've found already has like a friend of yours befriended. So you can ask like mutual friends for introduction, right? Because people tend to trust their friends and family members. So even though they're not really like inclined to add you as a friend, although let's face it, if somebody who has like libertarian interests and has like a lot of different common friends with you, you're always very likely to actually add him as friend, even though you don't know him very well. But that's not the case here. So if you search for a person and you don't want to add him as a friend, you can always just go around this and ask a common friend to introduce you. So when you reach out to this person, it's important to be personal. All right, so like not try to sound like a robot, because people then usually don't respond. And it's also important to kind of go straight to the point where you don't chat with this person for 2 hours and then like asking for something. You can just say like, hi, how are you? I saw on Facebook that you're interested in Students for Liberty, so I was thinking, since I'm the representative of Students for Liberty, we have this great LC program here. It's an amazing opportunity for you, blah blah. What do you think? So that way you can very quickly and very easily approach a lot of people in one day. But important rule or suggestion here is that you should not add more than 50 people per day, because Facebook tends to block those who try to add more than 50 people per day, right? So only try to add 50 people as friends. And again, if you're not feeling like that comfortable with adding so many friends, you can always like ask like common friends for introductions, or ask common friends to tell them about the LC program or something like that. So we can discuss these methods here, or these different ways of approaching people in general. But what I wanted to do today, again, is very quickly to introduce this tool to you, and yeah, and to see if you have any like ideas on how we could implement this, or if you have any questions or concerns, or we could discuss this together. So I think I can actually quit the presentation now and open the floor for your thoughts, for your ideas, and for your questions. All right, so Kevin just sent me a question since he cannot speak, and he wants to know more about the spreadsheet and how to take data from Facebook to spreadsheet, right? So there are tools for this, and to be honest, I haven't really prepared any. I would have to search this up. But generally, I think there are like different tools that can pull out data from Facebook searches into spreadsheets. So I guess I could try to search for those and get back to you afterwards with a link. But yeah, generally it's possible.
So could I come in there?
Sure.
So I did this a while ago, last year sometime, and I did have a little bit of success. People went and they joined the network and stuff like that. But what I found was what was best was to wait until they added you as a friend before you struck up the conversation. And the best way I found was saying things like, so I noticed that you liked whatever it was, Ron Paul or whoever it was that I was searching at the time. And they went, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I would ask, would you consider yourself libertarian, or are you interested in the ideas of liberty? And then when they expressed an interest, then you sort of give them the approach to say, oh, have you heard of Students for Liberty? And then they're more likely to sort of not feel jumped upon or conned or something. So that's how I found the best approach.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I should have mentioned that if you send a message to someone without like befriending this person before, it's the message is most likely going to those like secondary messages, which people usually don't read. So it's like very likely that this person will this message if you like if you're not like friends before you send it. Kevin is also asking if there is any way of like mass contacting people. And so this is like generally why I would not recommend this, because if you like, even though it would be possible, and I think it's actually not possible, then there is this issue with like not being friends, and again, not being personal, right? Because you really want to do it in a way that that Rob described, just reaching out to this person, call him a name, noticing or saying what did you notice about him, and then kind of like develop a discussion around the topic, and eventually come up to this like offer if this person would actually, you know, consider applying for the LC program. So thanks for this, Rob, and I think that answers your question, Kath.
I have some kind of concern. So basically, if we do the graph search with few people doing that from one region, so we definitely, I think, need to collect this data, because if we approach the same person with 2 or 3 people with the same message, that would be that might also be treated not in a best way for us. So yeah, the question is, if few people reach out to the same person with the same message, how should we react then?
Well, if an error happens, I mean, we should try to avoid this at first place, right? That's the most important thing. But if that happens, just apologize, right? And not develop the discussion any further. But I mean, Europe is a bit different than Brazil, I guess, here in a way that, you know, different regions have like different languages, obviously different countries, different ways of like approaching people and culture. etc. So it's important to keep this local, because it probably wouldn't be very successful if I would be like reaching out to, I don't know, like some Spanish people in English, right? Because they would probably not even understand what I'm saying to them, and they would probably be kind of curious, who is this guy? So the way I see this working for Europe is that, like, you, and by you I mean national coordinators and regional directors, kind of try to coordinate this. Perhaps get together with a few other leaders from your region, create a common or a joint spreadsheet where you'll all be like listing all the people you have already solicited, and basically dividing the efforts, right? So let's say I will be reaching out to people in Brno and Prague, Pavel Fukac will be reaching out to people in Bratislava, and so on and so forth, right? You get the idea. And it's just important to keep track of all those people you've reached out to, because you know, otherwise it could get really messy. And the spreadsheet does not only have to contain like those people you reached out to. It can also have like different comments, as in like, this person was interested, but he's currently somewhere, so he might be interested again in 2 months, or something like this. Because there'll definitely be different answers to your questions. So keep it kind of keep it in the spreadsheet, I think, is the best practice here. My question is, other than Rob, has anyone here ever tried this before? And if yes, what is your experience? Okay, so you probably haven't tried it, but I'm pretty sure you've already heard of it. So is there any particular reason why you like haven't tried this, even though you have probably already heard of it, because we've been promoting this tool for quite some time already?
Okay, I can answer that. Well, not just in SFL, but in many other projects that I worked on, I've kind of, I wasn't involved in any of these activities considering marketing and reaching people. I was involved in completely different activities, so this is pretty much new to me.
Okay, perfect. And Rob, I have one additional question. So how successful was you know, your recruitment campaign with GraphSearch? Like, did we get any applications out of that?
Sorry. Yeah, we got a couple of applications, and a couple of people signed up for the to join the network. Who did I get specifically from that? I think Raphael might have come in that way. Who else? A couple of people from London that I still have to follow up with as well. But yeah, it's a case of how long do you get the conversation going. Some people, you can sort of get a clear sign that they're not really interested, and you don't want to annoy them either. Like, you don't want to just keep saying, "Oh, have you applied, or have you joined, or have you looked at the material?" So I suppose there's a balance.
Yeah, that sounds good, and I'm actually like not surprised, but it's exciting to hear that it's actually working, or that it has worked for you, even in the region. That's pretty awesome. And I still think that there is a lot of like potential for us, because in many regions we haven't really tried it yet. And you know, like, we have tried like Facebook advertising and social media advertising in general, doing a lot of posts, testimonials, videos, blog posts, emails. But what really has been the most successful tool for getting more people to apply for the OSCE program usually has been, you know, those have been personal referrals. And like this sort of like technique or graph search, I think it can be considered to be personal referral as well, right? Because you get personal with the person, and then you kind of recommend to apply for the OC program. And we've seen in different regions that it has been extremely successful. So I think right now in this semester, given the Generation 3 campaign launch, I think it's a good time for us to try to push for this in different regions as well, and just to see what the results will be. But I'm pretty confident that if we'll try this, especially in like Balkans, maybe Poland.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think it will be interesting to see how this is going to work. Well, I can say for Montenegro, but also for the whole Balkans. Maybe this will be a good, let's say, push-up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So anyone else here have any questions, concerns, maybe ideas on how this could be implemented, or any additional comments?
So one thing that I would say is to maybe, like, the search is one thing, but having a sort of pot of interests that are successful might be useful to sort of collate together. I know each region will be different, but like the different interests that we search on, I think, is important, because they dictate the caliber of person that you're getting in the results column. So maybe having a shared folder for the different interests that become successful over time.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. We could try this. I mean, I already have a few interests in my mind that I think could be like general for all the regions. Although, for instance, in Brazil, the first thing they tried was to reach out to people that are members of a group called, I think, Libertarians, and there was like 15,000 people in the group. So that was like a very specific thing for the region, because I don't think there are like many libertarian groups, like Facebook groups, out there in Europe. But so as you mentioned, it's going to be probably pretty much specific for different countries. But still, like, interests such as Ludwig von Mises or Students for Liberty, or I don't know, free speech, that's probably too broad. But different interests like this, I guess, could be collected and sent to everyone or shared with everyone as an inspiration to start with, definitely. And Kevin is also suggesting that we could add a few like opening liners and share those with people. So if they're like not sure about how to approach someone, this could help. So this is as well a great idea. We could work on this. So I think in the future, very soon, we'll create a folder for like whole Europe, and we'll share it with everyone. And in the folder, we can just add all those different things. But at the end of the day, I think it's up to you as a regional kind of directors and national directors to create your own for your local groups and to work on this. But yeah, we'll definitely provide some general materials on the European level as well. Any last comments, thoughts, questions? Okay, I think that will be all. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today. This session is being recorded, so we'll be sending this basically to everyone very soon. And so me, Anna, Julia, and Kevin will definitely be here for you if you have any further questions or any, like, I guess, observations or experience to share regarding this. And as I said, the campaign is going to be running basically until December. So I'm not sure when the referral game is ending. It's maybe like next month or something. Maybe it runs even until December. But anyway, if you feel like starting and want some help, definitely reach out to us. We can help you out from the beginning. And with that, I think I can just thank you again, and yeah, wish you a wonderful evening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.